Rodriguez. Good morning. The Committee on Appropriations, Public Debt, Legal Affairs, Retirement, Public Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation, and Land will now come to order. The public hearing and notices for this public hearing were published in the Mariana's Variety and were circulated to the appropriate press for the both the 5-day and the 48-hour notice. We have 5 bills on the agenda today, and unfortunately the chairman isn't present this morning, and so I as vice chairman have been asked to conduct this hearing. We'll begin this morning with the Bill 251 introduced by Senator Dennis Rodriguez, and I will ask Senator Rodriguez to make the sponsor statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Hafide, good morning. Bill 251, basically it's similar to what we've just entertained the Guam legislature a few days ago. It is a requirement of the lender, Bank of Guam in this case, that for us to include this language in current statute where we already waive sovereign immunity, and that this bill, what it does is include language that would include attorney's fees and other related costs as it pertains to any suit that's brought against the government to enforce the agreement, which is the loan in this case. And so, this is needed for. I know that this is for the Guam legislature. At this point, this particular loan negotiations have been completed, and the only thing that's outstanding is this language, so that the lender and as well as the government, the Attorney General, is satisfied with what we're doing here. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. I'll read the official title. It's an act to amend Public Law 32-67 relative to the waiver of sovereign immunity on a loan previously authorized for the Guam legislature. Here to testify, the Executive Director of the Guam legislature, Mr. Ariola, and Mr. Kanata from the Guam Preservation Trust. Please proceed, Mr. Ariola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Vince Ariola, the Executive Director here at the Guam Legislature. Good morning, Mr. Chairman again, and Senators of the committee. I just have a few comments. As you know, we passed and we had enacted Public Law 3267 that gives us the authority and approves the loan terms with the lender, the Bank of Guam. And since then, we have been in negotiations and in contact and in meetings with the bank's legal counsel, the AG's office, GIDA, and of course ourselves in trying to get the bank documents finalized. And the one sticking point is basically before you. So in football parlance, we are at the 1-yard line. We need approval of this bill here, this proposal that would broaden the sovereign immunity that's contained in 3267, as Senator Dennis Rodriguez had mentioned. It's similar to the GMH and the port loans that was the GMH loan that was entertained last week, and the port loan that's about to be heard, I believe, right after us. But we tried valiantly for the last 2, if not 3 months, to work with the AG, but they were firm in their position that this is the language that they want, if in fact we are going to sign the documents that the bank wanted as well. The bank took it back and forth between their legal counsel, their loan committee, and they were firm as well. So we're at this juncture where we need a revision in the law. We ask for your support. Joe Kanata here from the Guam Preservation Trust is ready. The building plans have been set. The bids are ready, and we should, once this is passed and enacted into law, we should close the loan. My best guess is within a week to 10 days, nothing longer. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kanata.
Yes, Mr. Chair, good morning, and Senators. I'd like to read my testimony in favor of Bill 251-32, an act to amend Public Law 32-67 relative to the waiver of sovereign immunity on a loan previously authorized for the Guam legislature. Joseph Kinata. I am the Chief Program Officer of the Guam Preservation Trust. And on behalf of the Guam Preservation Trust, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to testify in favor of Bill number 251-32, an act to amend Public Law 32-67 relative to the waiver of sovereign immunity on a loan previously authorized for the Guam legislature. This bill, if signed into law, would allow the Guam Preservation Trust to finally proceed on a much-awaited project, the rehabilitation of the old Guam Legislature building in Hagatna. In 2008, the Guam Preservation Trust Board of Directors had approved to proceed with the efforts to rehabilitate the old Guam Legislature building. Since then, the Guam Preservation Trust had funded and administered the structural assessment, the historic structures report, the architecture and engineering design, and the construction bid documents for the rehabilitation of the old Guam Legislature. We have waited for almost 2 years for the Guam Legislature to secure funding for their portion of the construction cost. The Guam Preservation Trust has and will continue to support projects that contribute towards the advancement of historic preservation on Guam. Suzus Masi.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of myself, and I'm sure my colleagues, I want to thank and congratulate and commend both of you for the efforts that you've undertaken to make sure that the renovations at the Plaza de España turned out as beautifully as they did. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the ribbon cutting, but I drove by yesterday and was very impressed. And I would like to thank both of you for the work that you did on that effort. And I know that there was a lot of work that had to be done to make sure that you maintained the historical significance of that area. And I want to commend both of you for all that hard work. And I really look forward to us moving this bill through and finally getting the Guam legislature back in place. As many of you know, I've been traveling and I've been in numerous cities where the restoration and the efforts to make sure that they maintain the historical significance of historical buildings is paramount and is important for their tourism. I mean, it underscores the importance of their tourism. And besides this being the seat of government that we're proposing, it also is necessary because that eyesore across from the cathedral and the beautifully renovated plaza and the soon-to-be built museum is going to continue to be an eyesore unless we can get this thing going and the renovations completed. So I want to thank you and the Historic Preservation for all the work that you did. The plans that have been shown to us of that building are absolutely beautiful. I remember it as a child. I guess I really shouldn't have remembered it, but I was there when it was built. No. So I'm glad that it's finally going to be rebuilt, and we'll be able to have sessions and hearings in that building. So again, on my behalf, and hopefully on behalf of my colleagues, I want to thank you. Any questions? Senator Especia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Speaker and Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to echo your sentiments and also thank Senator Rodriguez for introducing this bill. As he stated, and as we all know, this is what we hope is the final hurdle to getting the construction started. I want to state for the record, Mr. Chairman, that the partnership with the Historic Preservation Trust and our Executive Director has been paramount and has been excellent and strong. Together with the Guam Economic Development Authority in securing this financing through the Bank of Guam, which brings the Bank of Guam as another partner that we have to recognize in this venture. Mr. Chairman, just so you know and the people know, certainly Speaker Wampad, yourself, and Senator Barnes, who I see as my legislative bosses here, have been asking on a daily basis, what is the status of restoring the old Congress building? As you know, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, we even had to go above and beyond to tell this administration that if they want the legislature to release title to Skinner Plaza, then we put a reversionary clause in that they have to make the Historic Preservation Trust whole again by returning the money that it took over the years, the cash that it took
and certainly through your efforts and the efforts of Speaker Ben in the hot bond, that's how we're able to replenish those cash. And so I just want to say and back these promises up that if this bill passes and the governor signs it, that the bid package is ready to go. Can you just say that again for the record? You don't need to be under oath because I know it's going to happen.
Yes, we've been waiting for the bid advertisement, and the bid package has been ready. We've also, and then I guess we've done twice the review with the reviewing agencies. We've gone around twice because it's been a while to make sure that these agencies are aware that this project is
in other words, it's a multi-prong approach, and
Exactly.
so we weren't waiting for the financing to be secured, and then we're going to go to the next phase. And
right.
so
As soon as we secure the funds, the advertisement will be out.
And that's why I want to congratulate both of you and all of you in your efforts to include that when we restore the old Congress building, certainly it's going to be a cost savings to the people of Guam, and that we will not be renting this building or saving the rental on 10 office spaces. And so whatever we decide to do, there's certainly a significant savings in the end. So thank you, Senator. Thank you, colleagues, for this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you, and again, thank your staffs for all the effort that they've undertaken over the last year. The next bill on the agenda is Bill 252, an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 10, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, Section 10238, relative to the waiver of sovereign immunity for a loan previously authorized for the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Port Authority of Guam. Again, this was introduced by Senator Rodriguez, and I'll ask him to make the opening sponsor statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair. Vice Speaker, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. This bill is similar to the bill that we just heard for the Guam legislature. This deals with the Port Authority of Guam. The difference here is that understand that the tariff increase is the proposal is still with PUC, and so the Attorney General has not seen or signed off on these loan documents that the legislature had previously authorized. And so, but in the event once all those procedures are done and it goes to the Attorney General's office, this language here would also satisfy the requirements of the bank, of the lender, as well as the interpretation now of the Attorney General in regards to the waiver of sovereign immunity, and how now it also covers, this bill would have it cover attorney's costs and related costs related to any suit that's brought against the port for the enforcement of the loan. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I note that Mr. Pangelinan has signed up to testify. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker and Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I believe Executive Director Ariola and Director Kanata has made our point, because we're in the same boat. And now I'll just read my testimony. Please accept the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Port Authority of Guam's testimony in support of Bill 252-32, relative to the additional waiver of sovereign immunity and the above Port Authority of Guam with the Bank of Guam loan. PAG is grateful for the legislature's previous approval of the PAG's request to waive sovereign immunity, allowing the $10 million loan in question to proceed. The loan documents PAG and Bank of Guam executed and the legislature approved contain the following languages. Fees and expenses. The authority shall pay on demand the responsible fees and out-of-pocket expenses of outside legal counsel for lender incurred in the connection with the making of the loans and the preparation, execution, delivery, and filing and recording of the agreement and other documents to be made, executed, and delivered in connection with the loans. The authority shall pay all other expenses of lender, including responsible attorney fees, in connection with the administration of the loans and all costs and expense, if any, in connection with the enforcement of this loan agreement, the notes or the pledges, including reasonable attorney fees. Subsequent to the legislature's waiver of sovereign immunity in suit for the application, indebtedness, and award of attorney fees, the Attorney General of Guam opinion that such waiver would not cover language similar to that agreed to between PAG and Bank of Guam, the approved by the legislature. In furtherance of the PAG's pledge above and in good faith, PAG, the proposal to include the award of costs in the legislature's earlier waiver of sovereign immunity. Bank of Guam has informed PAG that Bank of Guam does not intend to back out of the current PAG Bank of Guam agreement, and therefore the inclusion of the additional waiver of sovereign immunity should not affect the status of the loan approval before the Public Utilities Commission. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to testify in favor of this bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pangelinan. Any senator? Oh, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Felix. Just a real quick question, because I want to put something on the record here. Did you receive any outside testimony from any attorneys, any entities, any other financial institutions with regard to this proposal?
They are all in agreement. So in writing, no.
Okay.
We have gotten calls to support.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I just think it's important at this point. First of all, I want to thank the main mover and sponsor of this legislation for including me as a co-sponsor. We had a very spirited session a few days ago, and this was the anticipation of many that it would be a standard and uniform agreement with regard to this requirement that the bank put forward with regard to this agreement. So I just wanted to include that as part of the public hearing, realizing and recognizing that while there was a lot of back and forth and a very spirited discussion, it really was more of a procedural matter in which the financial institution had required this, and I believe many financing schemes will require this going forward. So thank you for the opportunity to have these measures move forward quite smoothly, and I think, Mr. Pangelinan, you're probably almost in the same position as the hospital, needing this money almost immediately to move forward on your improvements, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you, Mr. Pangelinan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Bill 257 will be considered heard. The next bill on the agenda is Bill 257-32, an act to amend Section 4107, Chapter 4, Title 5 of the Guam Code Annotated, to amend Sections 5 and 6 of Public Law 30-37, to amend Section 7 of Public Law 31-76, and to amend Section 1107G, Chapter 1, Title 2 of the Guam Code Annotated relative to enhancing Megalahian Guahan's comprehensive program and financial plan through identifying the Guam Department of Education, the University of Guam, and the Guam Community College appropriations, and to increase transparency, accountability, and planning in the budget reporting of tax credits. The sponsor for the legislation is Senator Ben Pangelinan, and on his behalf, I will read his sponsor's statement for Bill 257. Every fiscal year, the governor is required to submit his executive budget request to the Guam legislature, usually by the end of January for the next fiscal year. In this request, the governor includes details of his proposed appropriation levels for each department and agency of the government of Guam. What we have seen this past fiscal year was the governor not specifically providing his level of funding for the education agencies, namely the Guam Department of Education, the University of Guam, the Guam Community College, leaving the legislature to guess or read his mind to determine his priorities for education. Bill 257-32 seeks to remedy this by mandating that the governor delineate the specific appropriation amounts to GDOE, UOG, and GCC toward enhancing his overall executive budget request, and in doing so, providing the legislature with his priorities for funding the education agencies of this government. Additionally, Bill 257-32 also seeks to enhance the governor's executive budget request by increasing transparency, accountability in the executive branch's reporting of tax credits. Tax credits diminish the Guam legislature's ability to most accurately estimate revenues every fiscal year, which also hampers the ability to prioritize funding for the education agencies and other departments of the agencies of the government of Guam. Written testimony was provided on Bill 257 by the governor's office, and I will note for the record that in anticipation of this hearing, the committee sent letters of invitation to the governor and lieutenant governor's office, the AG, BBMR, Revenue Tax, DOA, OPA, the Mayor's Council of Guam, GDOE, Chamber, GITA, UOG, and GCC. The chair will recognize that there are no individuals in the committee room at this time for the hearing, but will note for the record that written testimony was provided on behalf of governor's office and will be part of the record. There being no one to testify, but the hearing having been called, the committee will find that Bill 257 has been properly noticed, heard, and will be deemed heard by the committee. The next bill on the agenda is Bill 258. Bill 258, again introduced by Senator Ben Pangelinan, is a bill to add a new section 4122 to Chapter 4 and to amend sections 22704A and C, Chapter 22 of Title 5 of the Guam Code Annotated, and to add Section 3D to Public Law 30-37 relative to requiring legislative appropriation for the government of Guam purchase, lease to own, and or lease purchase of real property and for other purposes. In anticipation of this hearing, letters of invitation were transmitted to the governor and lieutenant governor's office, the AG, BBMR, Revenue Tax, DOA, OPA, Mayor's Council of Guam, Chamber, GITA, GSA. The committee will note that at this time, 10:35 in the morning, that there are no individuals present in the committee room to provide testimony, but that testimony has been provided in written form on behalf of the governor's office and will be part of the record. I will, however, read into the record the sponsor statement by Senator Ben Pangelinan. What we have seen most recently in our community was the governor's purchase of a 50-year-old piece of property utilizing tax credits without specific legislative authorization. Although it has been claimed that tax credits are not cash payment, it certainly affects the government revenue stream as it offsets what we would have been able to collect in taxes. Bill 258-32 would mandate that the legislative authorization and appropriation would be required for any purchase, lease to own, and or lease purchase of real property. This legislative authorization and appropriation would place the people of Guam, as represented by the legislature, in the position to vet and scrutinize such large multi-million-dollar purchases of real property and to ensure that such public laws are utilized in the best interest of the people of Guam. Bill 258 also seeks to ensure that there is no conflict of interest in the granting of tax credits and disallows the transferring or assigning of such tax credits to those elected officials that executed such contracts that granted tax credits. Again, the chair will note that there are no individuals currently present to testify for or against the bill. We have written testimony from the governor's office as it relates to the bill, which will be part of the record. Having duly noticed and publicized this hearing, letters of invitations having been sent, and there being no additional testimony, Bill 258 will be deemed